Hello everyone, I'm Edward. Today I'm here to share with you a topical trending issue that has taken center stage in the world today. That is the LGBTQ++. Many of us think that this just happened in a blue moon, but I tell you that there are powerful spiritual forces and powerful political forces that is behind this agenda, and that is what I'm here to expose them to you. First of all, the spirit. Let's look at the spirit behind the LGBTQ++. Esther, the Sumerian goddess, is the spirit behind the LGBTQ+ community revolution we are seeing today. Another name of this goddess is Aphrodite. This name was given to her during the Roman and Greek era. She is the goddess of sex, love, war, and fertility. When this goddess appears, she appears as a woman with masculine features. This goddess is an hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite, that means she has both the male and female features. Another name of this goddess is the storm that breaks the storm wall. In times of war, when this goddess appears, she appears with a lion head, and this symbolizes the power of this goddess as she enters into war. Esther has everything to do with sex. Esther has everything to do with sex and is the energy behind the sexual revolution we are seeing today. She is found mostly around prostitution sites and bars, so she is known to be the mother of prostitutes. In times, she appears as a woman having a snake on her neck, and during this time, the snake will be making a hissing sound. Also, in other tablets, she is depicted as a beautiful woman holding an apple. Just follow me closely. When you look closely at the penis, you realize that it resembles that of a snake. When you look closely also at the vagina, you also see that it resembles that of the cut section of an apple. Also, during sexual intercourse, the male and the female partner make a sound resembling that of the hissing sound of a snake. Compare that to the scenario I gave earlier, and you see that this goddess is really the energy behind the sexual revolution we know today. Also, this goddess gives wisdom and inspiration to men to acquire herbs and to make medicines that boost the sexual activity or that boost the sexual drive in humans. This is the reason why ancient medicines that is taken in to boost sexual activity are named after her. Aphrodisiac. Aphrodisiac and Aphrodite. Aphrodisiac and Aphrodite. That meaning that name was obtained from what? The name of the goddess Aphrodite. Another point, when you have an aphrodisiac beside you, kindly look at the logo. You realize that the logo of the aphrodisiac product is that of a lion head. Remember that when we learn that when this goddess appears, she appears with a lion head, and that symbolizes the power of this goddess as she enters into war. Most of these aphrodisiac products have the logo of a lion head, and meaning that it's the power of this goddess which is backing that product. Let's move on to the evolution of the LGBTQ+ community. How did it begin? In the 1960s, saw the rise in liberation movement where everyone wanted liberation. Group of people will just come together and gather themselves, and they'll be calling that they want their right to own something, their right to do something. It all began in 1960 in America. The gays and lesbians also wanted their right, but it was not given to them. Here came a nightclub known as the Stonewall Inn. This Stonewall Inn became a safe haven to these gays and lesbians. How did the Stonewall Inn bar become a safe haven to these gays and lesbians? Because the Stonewall Inn bar was owned by a mafia, and this mafia offered money to police to prevent the bar from being raided. But on 27 June 1969, the unexpected happened. As the Stonewall Inn bar was offering entertainment to its gay and lesbian customers, the police raided the bar. What happened that night was beyond human mystery. The goddess Esther entered into the modern world through America. We are in new days, but the old gods are still ruling. And this night, that is the 27 June 1969, on that night, the goddess Esther entered into the modern world through America. Why did that happen? Because America sneezes, the world catches cold. Meaning when something begins in America, it spreads to the whole world. This is how the event unfolded on that day. And we compare that to how Esther entered into this modern world. You realize that after we go through the event that occurred that night, you realize that all the event that occurred, all the activities that went down, that went on that day, was being backed by this goddess Esther. This is how the event unfolded. About 250 people were at the bar that night. The police began loading some of the people at the bar into the van. All of a sudden, something entered into the gays and lesbians who were at the bar. Something entered into them. That was the goddess Esther in action. The gays and lesbians at the bar began attacking the police to the extent that they feared for their lives and they ran into the bar. Some of these people tried to even set the bar on fire with the police inside of it. This began a riot that went on for many days. What transpired that night went beyond human realm. As I said, the goddess Esther was backing all the activities and events that occurred that night. 1. The name of the bar was the Stonewall Inn Bar. And remember that we learned that another name of this goddess is the storm that breaks the storm wall. 2. Adjacent this Stonewall Inn Bar was another bar known as the Lionhead Bar. The Lionhead Bar. Remember that we learned that in times of war, this goddess appears with a lion head. That symbolizes the power of this goddess as she enters into war. Anyway, there was one lesbian who began the whole riot, known as Storm DeLavia. This lesbian was the first person to punch a police officer, and he urged his fellow lesbians and gays to attack the police. Her name was Storm DeLavia. Let's look at something. Stormy DeLavia. When you bring that to English, it means storm, which is the same name as the name of the goddess Esther. 4. Storm DeLavia was a lesbian having a masculine feature, and we learned earlier that this goddess has both a woman and a male attribute. Sometimes she appears as a woman having a male attribute. 5. Something amazing happened that night also. Participants of this riot also did a dance. Observers that were around saw this dance or recognized this dance, and they referred that to the dance of Esther. What is the dance of Esther? Before Esther goes into war, she dances. She dances, and this dance is known as the dance of what? Esther. Remember, when before she goes into war, she dances. The same way, the participants of this riot were in something like engagement with the police, and they were also dancing, just like the goddess. Number 6, the participants of this riot, they also sang a song, and the words of the song was linked to the ancient tablet of the goddess. After this riot, the LGBT community came to a realization of fighting for their right, and this is where all this LGBTQ plus revolution this way it began. From that night, after the riot has continued for many days, this is where the LGBTQ plus community revolution began, and right now it has become an agenda that countries are being tasked to accept. It all began that night. And you realize that from all the events we've discussed, you realize that this goddess was the one who entered into the gays and lesbians at that bar. Let's move on to the rainbow flag. Why did the LGBTQ plus community, why did they choose the rainbow colors as their representation? Why couldn't they choose any other color combination as their what? Their symbol? Why did they choose the rainbow colors? Was it a coincidence, or they know what they are doing? Fast forward, let's look at something. According to Asian mythology, goddess Iris, or Iris the goddess, was the goddess of the rainbow. And this goddess was a messenger to Esther. And you know the work of a messenger and what she does to serve the master. In ancient tablets, Esther is being drawn or depicted alongside Iris. This is what happens. Before Esther appears at a place, Iris moves ahead. The goddess Iris moves ahead of Esther, and she goes to display a rainbow colors in the sky for some time before Esther will appear at that place. Some Greek and Roman worshippers came to a realization or believed that both Esther and Iris are the same goddess. This makes the rainbow the color of this goddess. And anyone that waves the rainbow, displays this rainbow in support of the LGBTQ plus, comes under her dominion. Now we have looked at the spiritual force behind this LGBTQ plus revolution. Now let's look at the political force behind this LGBTQ plus community movement and how it's being backed by the political men and women. Before something appears in this physical realm, it is being backed by the spiritual. So this goddess Esther also have empowered men on this earth, or have given authority and power to men and women on this earth. And these power and authority and wealth are being used by these men and women to push the agenda of the LGBTQ plus. These men and women form the Democratic Party in America. Why am I saying that? Anytime this Democratic Party, whenever they come to power, what they do most or what they do best, they push the agenda of the LGBTQ plus. Barack Obama was the first president to sign an executive order to protect the lesbians, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. Which party does he belong? It's the Democratic Party. After this law was passed, the whole White House was lit up in rainbow colors. On your screen is what? The picture of what I'm talking about. Barack Obama was representing the Democratic Party. Make sure the White House was lit up in rainbow colors. This is because this goddess Esther is the one backing them, is the one who backed them and brought them into power. So they will have to carry out this agenda of this goddess. In the olden days, you have to sacrifice a human or an animal to a goddess before that goddess will bless you. We are in new days, but this goddess, these old goddess, gods and goddesses are the ones who are still ruling, and they have different ways of dealing with man. This is what they do. They will give man the power and authority and all that the man needs, and after that they will tell the man to use this power and what they've given him to carry out the agenda. And most of this agenda seek to destroy man. Well guys, this is where time is going to permit me on this video. There's more to talk about, but to avoid making this video unnecessarily long, I will pause here. There's more video of mine coming up, and I want you to keep your fingers crossed. Stay positive, stay discover self, and just live all in wisdom. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.